outside the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Again, last night, if you want to check out our footage from last night, there were about 70 arrests. It was a really expressive response by the riot police outside the Israeli consulate, which was at the Accenture Tower in downtown Chicago. Do you want to say about why you're here today? Just tell us why you're here.
Yeah, Palestine Harra.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's Director Brooks of the Chicago Police Department behind me. You know, we've seen the brass. We've seen the brass right in the middle of everything for sure. Like, you know, I think it shows that, like, basically the police leadership. Keep coming a little bit. The police leadership has been pretty comfortable to be out in the middle of these crowds, right? Like even last night in the consulate, I could see, you know, groups of senior police officers moving around without like a guard around them, which I think kind of belies the pretense that the protest was dangerous. If it was that dangerous, why would all these senior police officers be easily moving through the middle of the crowd? And we saw that repeatedly. So again, you can see here, like, that's a senior police figure. Basically, it's like the police have purported that the protests are dangerous, but if they were, then why would the leadership be right in the middle of the protest? So we also, last night at the Salt Barn, we tried to find out who had authorized closing off the sidewalks so that people couldn't demonstrate on the sidewalks. We were not able to get an answer from the Illinois State Police or from the city Chicago Police. If you look behind us, there's some police lines with bikes. That's the entrance, that's the edge of the convention. I just wanted to sort of show that really quickly, that the edge of the convention is right there.
Hey, Kamala, we're no fools!
Keep coming, keep coming.
You fund genocide, not our schools!
So that's the edge of the convention, the security perimeter. On the first day at the security perimeter, some people, this guy's a counterterrorism police officer, Bureau of Counterterrorism. It's pretty telling how often counterterrorism units are used at these protests. So, yeah, so some of those are counterterrorism police officially. All right, so we're out ahead of the march for a second. We're a block north of Washington. Across the street is Wood Street. Yeah. So the march is paused for a second. Again, we're on day 3 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Thank you all for tuning in. There's been, you know, thousands of people out there. We saw 70 people get arrested outside the Israeli consulate. We also saw a noise demo outside the Salt Barn that got the message across to all of the DNC delegates that were coming in the building. They couldn't avoid it. So I thought that was something that like reached the delegates at a pretty close range in a large volume. So it's, you know, there's been a lot of demos. People have also been popping up inside events. We heard that people got kind of shoved around outside the amphitheater theater where the Colbert Report was filming last night with Nancy Pelosi. That was, something else happened down there. So there's, you know, been continuing marches and events. You want to talk?
I mean, we're here, you know, just supporting our Palestinian brothers, trying to have a ceasefire happen.
Yeah. How do you feel about having the national convention here and all the policing here in Chicago?
I mean, you know, they're trying to keep it peaceful, you know, keep everybody safe, so there's no problem with them being here.
Yeah. How would you say that Chicago has been one of the leading cities in terms of Palestine protests in the United States in the last month? Can you talk about that?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Palestinians here in Chicago, so it does really make a difference when we all stand up as one and bring out our voices all together so we can be heard.
Okay. Anything else you want to add right now?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So, again, Chicago's been, like you said, one of the major cities for Palestine protests in the U.S. There's a large Muslim community here, as well as obviously in Michigan. There's a lot of Palestinians in Michigan. So, you know, that's been driving the intensity of Palestine protests in Chicago the entire time of this, you know, window of this conflict and all this level of genocidal killing that's been going on, especially in the Gaza Strip, depopulation of the West Bank. If you want to learn more about that, unicornriot.ninja on our website. Our contributor Mohammed in Gaza has been sending us clips on a regular basis. So we've had, we have original reporting on Gaza. All right, so there's been a lot of kind of arbitrary nudges about what media is where, as if it matters. Like last night, I had kind of an argument with some city officials because they kept saying go to the sidewalk, and the other ones say you don't have the right credential to go on the sidewalk, and it's like, who's deciding these things? That's obviously a media-specific issue, but it does show how they make it harder to cover these things. But you know, there's obviously anytime there's a national special security event, there's hundreds of journalists. We got like all kinds of journalists here. But at something like the noise demo last night, there was only one freelancer besides us at Unicorn Riot posting clips, and so a lot of the demos and things actually haven't had hundreds of reporters at them. I just wanted to kind of mention that for context in terms of what's gotten coverage and what hasn't. There's been more chatter about more events, kind of like short notice kind of things. So if any of that happens, you know, we'll try to bring that to you as we can, basically, as different small events pop off. So again, the march is moving again. We're a couple blocks north. We're a block north of the perimeter fence, basically, moving west here in Chicago. Did you want to talk about why you're here today? Okay, thank you. So, something going on with police. I don't know. It's maybe a internet troll thing, or there's a bunch, sort of a media scrum or something right here. I don't know why they're taking pictures of something. The marshals are surrounding it. Okay, I think it's maybe a counter demonstration. Perhaps something like that. I think it might be a counter demo. I can't quite see exactly what's going on here. Like the marshals are trying to move people along. There's been some counter demonstrations so far. I would say they haven't been that intense. A lot of times it's just been like lone individuals popping up here and there. I would not say it's been a lot of organized counter demos. I doubt that involves more than just a couple people over there. All right, cool. All right. Thanks. Thank you. So yeah, we're almost coming up to sunset. All right. Up ahead of us, interesting, there's a lot of police. I think they're going to try to keep everyone out of the park. So basically, last time on Monday, like the rally went into the park and they blocked off the street. So we can maybe move ahead to go take a look at this. Should we go take a look at what they got set up here? All right. So there was some conflict on Monday because some of the people that were marching wanted to turn left. They wanted to turn down this street where the fence runs on Washington Avenue. And there was definitely some arms linked and kind of like, we have a video up detailing it, but basically there was disagreement about people getting into that street area. And then after that, some people popped out units of the fence. So it looks like there might be a counter demonstrator. Yeah. So Christian fundamentalists, Yeshua, American flags, etc. So the police have lined up blocking Walcott south of Maypole over here. There's a ton of police vans on our left. And this was not blocked off earlier, but we could see there's riot police lining the entire park all the way up. And so they're trying to keep people out of this park. I believe it's called Park 564, which is sort of an odd name. And you can see back there behind them, that's the National Convention. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. So that's the United Center back there. And yet on Monday, this street was not closed off by police. But as you can see, the police are not about to let anybody get anywhere south of Maypole Avenue sidewalk today at all. And so back there, you can see the fence, and that fence had about a half dozen sort of sections popped out of it when some people removed that, which was an autonomous action that was not part of the main march. So more people are coming. Okay, zoom out. These are the CRS people from the Department of Justice. This is Community Relations Service, and that's a part of the Department of Justice that has been involved in some of these demos. And I think it's interesting. Like, they seem to know a lot about the social scene in different cities. and the political scene. So I think that's an interesting aspect that is not well known in the protest world. This is CRS, but they've been very out here. They have an office in Chicago. It's like the regional office. So you got police are about three rows deep right now, and there's more riot police on the park corner of it. So would you want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about why you're here today, sir? Okay. Right. Thank you. All right. Yeah. All right. So we're at Walcott and Maypole, outside, we're directly north of the Democratic National Convention area.
We know what that means.
Send that message to the convention, which is right behind us.
Genocide and war. We know what that meaning's for. Genocide and war.
Do you want to talk about why you're here today? Do you want to talk? Ma'am, do you want to talk about why you're here today? Okay.
DNC, go to hell. It is right to rebel.
Would you want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about why you're here? You want to talk about why you're here? Okay. So there's several blocks of people here moving west further, and the police are trying to stop, or the police have stopped this march from being able to get into the park to the south right behind us. Gives another block of buffer. Say, do you want to talk about why you're here today? Okay. So you can see that the bike cops are creating sort of a soft boundary on the side of it. In our experience, what we've seen is that they usually still let people through unless something else is going on, but they've been creating a defined boundary on the outside of the march. So the police have consistently tried to create box shapes around the streets, basically. They've been kind of creating street boxes. So they're saying that the people united will never be defeated, they're saying. Can I tell you about why you're here today?
What? Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
No.
No? Okay.
It's okay. Oh, well, off camera? Do you want to talk off camera?
If you want to talk.
You can talk off camera.
Okay, I'm here to make a voice for the voiceless in Gaza, protesting the Israeli monstrosity in their attack on Gaza, the genocide that's taken place, and we are the arm. We just gave Israel $20 billion extra on top of the 20 we gave them earlier this year. And we're protesting because this is money coming out of your pocket, my pocket, and your pocket, and going to people, to country that every single person has a health care, free education is free, and everybody has a house, courtesy of Palestinian, because they steal their land. And we here suffering in this country, and a lot of people living under poverty line, and our government is just sending our money out. So multiple reasons. One of them is national. As an American, I care about education and healthcare and housing and all these issues, and our social justice in our country. And it looks like our government doesn't give a damn about any of that. And also, as a Palestinian, I care about the genocide that's taken over there. So we're here to trying to make so maybe they will hear our voices.
Do you feel like the message has been getting through this week?
The message, we've been shouting these messages for 10 months straight now. The problem is those who make decisions, they absolutely don't give a damn about the people in this country or the people in that country. They are the privileged, the one that makes the laws to serve them and serve their friends.
Yeah. There's a sign over there about AIPAC, right, which is sponsored candidates sponsored candidates that are pro-Israel. Can you talk about that?
They should make running for the funding, campaign funding. It should be public money, paid equally to everyone. Because AIPAC, what does it do? Is buy you by giving you campaign contribution, and then it's I don't want to be impolite, but it's a kind of like sort of prostitution. I'll pay you and do what. No, don't.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but behind us, like the police are blocking people from the park. How do you feel about how everything's been policed this week? Can you talk about that?
I think it's a waste of taxpayer money because we've been protesting for 10 months now, and they know we are very peaceful. We don't break windows, we don't fight. It's just totally peaceful. So to have this many police officers mobilized, it's like the city is safe, and that's the only thing that left. So I just worry about it, or I don't like it from the perspective of wasting the police. There are places that need their force.
Where could people go to learn more? What groups are involved today? How would you describe the different groups?
I don't know, to be honest. I get the announcement come. I am aware of the movement. I'm aware of the grassroots movement. But there is a lot of online. You can talk to the organizers, the guys with the green vests. They will know more information than me.
Do you feel there's reasons to be hopeful right now? Like, it's a tough time, but are there any positives you think right now?
I think our government can end this with a drop of a pen, because when you mobilize every day, like half of our navy is in the Middle East to protect Israel. Do you know what the cost of operating that? It's billions of dollars every day. And they are on top of arming Israel. I think the United States have a magic wand to say, hey, fuck you, stop this shit, or we're gonna take our navy and no more weapons for you. They will do it's unfortunately our country. It's like they did in Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. Every time it's an experiment for them, and when it fails, a lot of people left miserable and in ruins. And they don't learn. Since when did politicians learn? Okay.
Anything else you want to add?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Are you from Chicago?
I am.
Okay.
I live in Hyde Park.
Okay, Hyde Park.
I came a long ways here.
Right. A long ways from Hyde Park.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so that was a local Chicago resident, and they were talking about the policy issues, and they were just sort of like, someone, again, heard the call, came down for this today. So there's been thousands of people. I don't know how many blocks long this is. I would say it has to be at least 6 blocks, perhaps. It's got to be. Lots of people have been coming past us. And can we get a shot of the huge puppet, which says, "I am already dead"? I think that puppet, we got some shots of that during the rally earlier today. I thought that had a pretty striking look to it. It's like behind that officer. So it says, "I'm already dead." And then there were Biden and Obama heads, which just flipped around again. They have quotes on the back of the heads. They're over there. We got some pictures up of that. They say, "I am proud to support Israel." It has an old quote from Biden, I think from the 80s, about being proud of Israel on it. So again, we got lines of police here. They're trying to keep people from moving south of Maple into this park. There's a little bit of press behind those police lines. There's a bunch of vans parked there on Walcott, and then the United Center is just to the south. And once again, we have a couple of these people from the federal DOJ Community Relations Service to our right as well. They're wearing these green vests. So it's the same color vests, right? And so the bodies outside the law group forwarded a message sort of saying hey, they didn't want these people marshaling at their demo on Sunday, the day before it started. But they do kind of move around and sometimes, I don't know, move people along. But anyway, I thought that was interesting because it's not well known at all. So obviously hundreds of police. Last night at the noise demo, for about 20-some participants, there were 120 police, 6 to 1. We got some little kids here. There's little kids here with keffiyehs. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Talk about how things are going? You want to talk? Okay. All right. So, as you can see, it's not a hard line. It's not that nobody can get through, but they've been sort of trying to make a boundary, right? So there's 2 lines of police bikes, one on one side of the sidewalk, one on the curb, and then the press has been moving up and down in this area. actually see some Israel counter demonstrators with an Israeli flag on the playground equipment. So the pro-Israel, if we move a little bit down, maybe around this side, just to show that this is happening. So the pro-Israel demonstrators have gotten into the park right over there. So, and so that's kind of striking, right? That like the Palestine demonstrators can't get in the park, but there are pro-Israel demonstrators that are in the park with 2 or almost 3 lines of police between them, and they're hanging out in the park. But again, it's not a large group, it's a fairly small group. Do you want to talk about why you're here today? You can be off camera if you'd like.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, can you just talk about why you're here and what's up with counter demonstrators being able to get into this park?
They only had like 3 people that speaks about the subject. I mean, we're here to protest the genocide and the U.S. Backing that up with all types of weapons, smart and dumb bombs, and killing so far 40,000 Palestinians in Gaza. 70% of them are children and women. It's a disgrace, and I think the history would remember who was on the right side of the history.
Yeah. So have protesters been harassed? Is that a reason that you're covering? Like, are you trying to prevent harassment and that kind of? Can you talk about the harassment of Palestine protesters in the United States?
To be fair, CBD is just there, but I think their mentality and their demeanor, they're aggressive and they're just one-sided.
Yeah.
They haven't been trying to protect or hold back the other parties that are trying to instigate the problems within the protesters.
Yeah. Can you talk about what else you've seen in the last few months for tactics that are used against the protest, the colleges, things like that? Can you talk about those tactics?
Oh, all type of tactics. They've been terrorizing students, and they've been issuing. I mean, some people, some students get like suspended from school because they're practicing demonstrations, and that's the basics of American freedom. You can freedom of speech, and people got arrested. Even people got arrested here in Chicago. And it's just ongoing cooperation between, I think, the city and high politics, and they're just trying to hold the Palestinian people voice back.
Are you from here in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay. How would you say that Chicago has been mobilized in these last few months? I think, is it one of the largest cities in the United States for Palestine protests? Can you talk about Chicago?
I think so. I think, yeah, Chicago City, at the beginning, and the end of last year, they will be able to pull up like huge numbers. And like you can see today how many, like you got like so many of Chicago police officers. It's almost as many as the protesters. It's ridiculous how much the city is paying just to silence the pro-Palestinian voice. And you see, all the protesters are like peaceful, and nobody is doing any violence or anything.
Do you feel it's been a really tough, like almost a year? But do you feel there's reasons for hope? Are there any things that give you positive or a hopeful feeling about any of this?
Well, we only hope in God, but there is no reason to be hopeful, but from God. See that Netanyahu is taking advantage of the weakness of Biden and the crucial time in terms of the American society and politics, because it's an election year, and he's placing his bet on Donald Trump to win, which he has the full support of. And the Democratic Party is still trying to give Netanyahu what he wants, so they get all the money for the campaign. There is $500 million so far for their campaign, and everyone is competing to get re-elected, and they're using the Palestinian blood to do so. It's a shame.
Do you think Harris would have different policies than Biden at all?
Absolutely not. I mean, when it comes to American politics, they might have different policies regarding internal issues, but when it comes to the Middle East, they are agree to. They have no hesitance for brown people getting killed. Unfortunately, that's the sad reality.
Can you talk about what groups have been involved here in Chicago, how this coalition comes together?
I have no involvement in coalition,
right.
So I can't speak to that.
All right, anything else you want to add today?
I mean, it's a shame how a city would gang against peaceful protesters just to silence their voice. I mean, this is the 101 of the American culture of freedom, and it's shameful. I mean, I can't imagine seeing this in a third world country, but not in the U.S. It's shameful. When it comes to Israel, I mean, you can forget about laws. You can forget about the Constitution. It's just money talks. Okay. Basically, Israel bought and paid the American Congress using American money, and they're using them as puppets. And to put it in Netanyahu language, they are his useful idiots. He's using them to commit genocide in Gaza, and nobody's able to speak.
Anything else you want to add?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Here, I think I can give you a sticker. So we're live right now. So thank you very much.
Can I get one, bro?
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Put me on the camera.
Okay.
How many people are watching?
We're not sure, but
all right.
It's been a lot. You know?
Here's the deal. We have to find out where the tax dollars are going. They are funding a genocide. The way that we're going to be able to do that is when you log on my site, when you go on Audit Them on YouTube, and we figure out what the Freedom of Information Act is. Soon I'm going to be talking that talk real soon. It is the one who encourages you to audit them. Free Palestine.
So you're trying to follow the money?
That's one of the first steps, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so investigation, research, right?
Right, through the Freedom of Information Act of Illinois, pursuant to the fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of government. It is declared to be the public policy of the state of Illinois that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts and policies of those who represent them. Such access is necessary to enable the people to fulfill their duties of discussing public issues fully and freely, making informed political judgments, and monitoring government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so that person was saying we can do more research and follow the policies, the money, Freedom of Information Act, which is something we do at Unicorn Riot. We do file a lot of data requests, and we try to find out the internal machinery of all these policing systems, as well as other policies, which get very sophisticated and are, oftentimes kind of secret, not well known. Thank you. So this protest has been going on. It's many blocks long. And obviously you can see the police are all here. There's a few press back in the crowd, back in the park, but they're not letting people in. This was the park where the event was on Monday. Yeah, thousands of people out here today. Then, with the corporate news, we see they oftentimes have two security guys to sort of shove people out of the way. There's a lot of internal details like that to how stuff happens at protests, and it all gets intense at national special security events and national conventions. But, and so we were in Milwaukee. We covered this a month ago, the Republican counterpart. Here, look at this security footprint thing. There's a security footprint warning that was taped up by the city. It says you may not have, anything. Anyway, it's just a very detailed, weird public notice about a security footprint that was taped up by the city. So it's weird to see these regulations pop up. So I just thought that was odd. So that security footprint is huge, right? They love the security footprints. Effective from the 17th to the 26th, which is a long time after the convention. The 26th is way later. So I think we'll try to move up the side here. So you see U.S. bases out of the Middle East from the Freedom Socialist Party. They're out here. It's not complicated. It's a genocide. End USA to Israel. Genocide Joe's legacy, the Busher of Gaza. Obviously, Biden is such a huge symbol of this whole thing for all these folks. That one says, stop U.S. terrorist politicians from weaponizing the new Holocaust, killing children, bombing hospitals, UN schools, save Gaza now. With a graphic photo of somebody killed by the Israelis in that picture. All right, I might have to move on this. yeah, so thanks for supporting our work. Thanks for sharing our work. Independent media doesn't get help shared by the algorithms. So more Chicago police lined up to our left, blocking off the entire park. Obviously, like we said, there's some pro-Israel counter demonstrators who were allowed in the park, but everything else is sealed off. Here south of Maple. And again, so the police made this very long line along here, Chicago police. A lot of other police, you know, $75 million national special security event budget. There's the United Center back there. That's the main site of this event. You want to talk about why you're here today? Okay. So, go behind this guy. So the police are also blocking off the next street. Those characteristic Chicago police, huge trucks they got out there. Does anybody want to talk about why you're here today? Or you want to talk about why you're here today? We're live right now? Okay, thank you.
You want to hold this for a second so I can look at our comms?
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of people marching. Big black flag right there. A lot of different people have come out on these marches. So, to our left, the Chicago police have blocked off the street right here. Totally blocked off. And they're turning north again. The police are making everyone turn north, so we're going farther away out of it. You can see a whole bunch of riot police back there, at least a few dozen. Also, the metro, or the buses have been used, Transit Chicago buses have been used to transport lots of police during this. So these are the CRS. Those are the CRS, Department of Justice staffer people. They have an office here. Notice how easily they can be confused with other marshals. Yeah. Copy that. All right. So we're going to keep bringing this to you live as much as we can, but we'll also have to work with our technical limitations. We'll let these people go by. I've got a narrow passage right here. We'll let these other people go by. Yeah. So we only have about 4 feet of space here. Between 2 police lines. You can see like sort of a SWAT police over there. The Secret Service has been out at some of these things. Counterterrorism, these other departments. The bike police have been creating kind of a box shape around everything. That's been one of the main strategies they've used during this. So the police are getting the march to turn north. We're turning north on Damon, north off of Maple, up Damon. We don't even know how many blocks long this has been. It's a huge demo. Lots of people out here. There's medics, legal observers, all of that. You can see people watching from up on top of at the Damon CTA stop up above. People are watching those Chicago elevated rails. So the march is turning north we're going north on Damon now.
Looks like one of them is shot.
Did you say Sean's up there?
Looks like it. Or maybe not. No, that's just another tall person.
Yep. Okay. Talk about why you're here today.
To talk about human life. America has been hijacked by Zionists. They're killing innocent people abroad while America's...
Something's going on. Let's go over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, something's going on over here. Something's up. Let's check out what's going on. Let her go. There's something going on inside the station. There's a whole scrum of people. Something's going on. Let's go. Yeah, let's go try to check it out. We're pressed. We're pressed. We're pressed. We're pressed. We're pressed. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. It's hard to tell. Okay. I don't know if I can. I mean, like. Oh, here we go. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. Let's go up. We'll go up. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know.
We're hearing chants of "let her go," but so there might be somebody who's detained, but we're not sure at this point. We're inside the Damon Ave, West Side Lake Street, South Side Station right now, Metro Station.
It's in the elevator or something.
There seems to be people in the elevator of the Metro Station. Can anyone tell us what happened if you know?
There's an arrest on top of the bridge.
There was an arrest on top of the bridge? Okay.
2 women, but now they're talking with the police without handcuffs.
Oh, okay. So just being detained right now?
Yeah, they probably...
Without handcuffs, though?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like it's breaking up, whatever happened.
It seems like there were 2 women who were on the bridge metro overpass who were temporarily detained. Thousands in the crowd were yelling, "Let her go, let her go." And that might have actually happened. The police might have actually let those people go.
Let's go take a look up.
We're gonna try to get a look up from this aerial view of the bridge.
Police are maintaining control. It looks like the police are all over the platform out there.
Yeah, there's a K9 unit also that I'm seeing.
All right, so we're just going to try to get a quick look up here. Good view.
So you can see the massive crowd from up above here. There are thousands of pro-Palestine protesters here demonstrating against the Democratic National Convention. This is the 3rd day of the convention so far. Tomorrow's the last day. There have been protests and different types of demonstrations every day this week so far. The crowd is cheering. They might have just heard news of the potential, the letting go of those people who were detained, because there was a lot of cheering that just happened in the crowd.
They're starting to turn west. They're trying to turn west, I think, to go back along Lake. Sorry, so turning east. Excuse me, turning east.
Let's show this side too. So we're just gonna show some more shots of this aerial view of the massive crowd right now. And again, the United Center in the background is where the Democratic National Convention is taking place as we speak. And these thousands of protesters of the Democratic National Convention are marching right out, super close to it, about a block away. There's dozens and dozens of law enforcement vehicles blockading a few blocks around the convention center. And right now there are thousands of protesters in the streets maintaining space and chanting "Free Palestine." There are probably thousands of Palestinian flags also, varying in sizes. Thousands of different types of banners. Many of them say "End U.S. aid to Israel." There's some pointing out AIPAC, as we've heard before.
Yeah, AIPAC is the America-Israel Public Affairs Committee, and while it's not a fundraising organization as a PAC itself, like a political action committee, it's still used as a kind of clearinghouse to coordinate support for pro-Israel protesters and sort of align, movement bundlers and sort of staying in touch with different candidates. And so what we've seen so far is a number of political candidates, like Cori Bush was defeated in their primary, Jamal Bowman. They were both members of the so-called squad in the U.S. House, the Democratic Party. And so pro-Israel spending went very heavily in both the Cori Bush and the Jamal Bowman campaigns, and they lost their primaries. All politics is local in America. That's not the only reason. Bowman was also redistricted, which had a very significant impact, but it's been a major factor, right? And so Ilhan Omar defeated Don Samuels, 55-45, but AIPAC-type crowd did not really regard Samuels as a very viable candidate, so he did not receive the kind of support that Cori Bush and Bowman's opponents received. So people are starting to move. They're starting to move east again, down on Lake. So I think we would stay on this side. We'll go down.
Okay, let me take a couple pictures.
Okay, so we're gonna get back down in the march. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, we kind of popped up in here because there was some word that someone was being detained. Moment of tension. You can see the bike line. You can see how there's several lines of police on the leftmost part. You can see down there. Zoom in a little. A lot of police right there. And then there's a line of bike police right in the center there. Yeah, you're good. So we see all of that. And, there's been police operating up on the platform, the Damon platform as well. So people are turning east. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Chris, on the back end. We've got Nico and Sean out there doing coverage. We've got Troy as well. So we've been trying really hard to bring this all to you and bring you events that haven't been covered at the DNC. Last night we had a noise demo coverage outside the salt shed, which was the huge shindig hosted by the Pritzkers. Common was playing inside, and a demo of, less than 40 people was there, met by 120 officers, the Chicago Police, Illinois State Police last night. But all the delegates basically had to walk in earshot of those demonstrators, and so that I thought was significant, that all those, all the delegates could hear the message from a much smaller crowd. They were all sort of in a close situation that they could hear this. So we had that coverage last night. Should we keep going?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we go down that?
We're gonna be heading back down to the street level now. We've been inside. I guess it's a dual CTA metro station, Harlem and Ashland 63rd Cottage Grove area. So we're heading back down right now.
They're not letting us news gather out there.
Can we leave that way? Dan, this person just said they're not letting anyone go that way, so let's not. Okay, we are heading back down right now. Thank you for tuning in. This is Unicorn Riot. You can go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, for our coverage starting on Monday. That was the first day of the Democratic National Convention. We're going to be here for the rest of today and tomorrow for the last day of the convention, showing you the protests and the opposition to the DNC on the ground here.
So we're at the end of the march.
So we are back outside. This is the end, the back of the march. Folks are chanting "No justice, no peace." The police vehicles are also following suit behind. There are at least 5, well, many more than 5 actually, now that I'm seeing even more turn down the road. There's probably about 10 police vehicles. I'm going to say that again because there might have been static. There are about 10 police vehicles following behind these thousands of protesters here.
Okay, we can maybe talk to the Jews for peace.
Sure. What do you like to say while you're here today?
because I believe in freedom and equality for all human beings.
How do you feel like the march is going so far?
It's a beautiful day for freedom and equality.
Thank you for speaking. So folks are now walking under Lake Street, or walking on Lake Street, just underneath this bridge.
The elevated rail.
The elevated rail, the L, we are walking underneath right now. This person in front of us has a sign that says, "We know too well that our freedom is not complete without the freedom of Palestine." That's a quote by Nelson Mandela. There's a large mix of different types of people here marching. There are a lot of children. There's a whole variety of ages here today and different ethnicities and backgrounds, all converging to protest the Democratic National Convention with a main message of being pro-Palestine and against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. So today at the rally before this march, there were a number of influential speakers. Cornel West and Jill Stein both spoke. There were other movement leaders and people who have been around for decades, who have been pushing to make change for social justice issues, who spoke today at the rally as well. And the rally was at Union Park. And Union Park is where the rally was on Monday. And there was also a march that day. However, that march, when it got to the other park closer to Union Center, that's when the fence breach happened right outside Union Center. And right now, there were so many police and police vehicles barricading that it doesn't seem like there was a break-off march today. And most or everybody in this march maintained space in the street and didn't try to break off. And so there are still thousands of people marching down this road right now. We're at Walcott Ave on the right side of us. And you can see there's still hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement lining the road. And lining the road on our right, and then there's even more police with bicycles on our left side. So we are right now sandwiched in by police officers. That's the United Center in the background where the Democratic National Convention is currently going on. There are Secret Service agents next to us coming up on the right as well.
Free Palestine, yeah, I'm saying.
Is there anything else you want to... Dan!
No.
No, that's it? Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So you can see the crowd here holding their Palestinian flags and a bunch of different types of signs and banners. And again, a lot of the messaging all week so far has been pro-Palestine and against the Israeli occupation of that area, which is also largely funded by the U.S. government.
Way back
yards and you're down here. They're noisemakers. We don't need this many police here. They need the police to be in other neighborhoods where people are actually doing some things. And there were some people killed in the way back yesterday, and they got these bozos here. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's wrong. We don't need these many people for 5,000 people. It's just stupid.
So, what brings you here today? Why are you out here today?
I'm protesting the out of control military industrial complex that these people represent. They're just pawns.
Anything else you want to add, sir?
Basically anti-war demonstrators. Okay. I got no ideology. I just sing a lot of songs.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We got 2 minutes.
How much in the battery? All right. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. We're gonna have to go down super temporarily, but we will be back up very shortly, so stay tuned on whatever browser and whatever social platform you are currently on watching us live. We will be back super momentarily here in Chicago, Illinois, showing you all the thousands of protesters marching around Chicago to protest the Democratic National Convention and to protest the Israeli occupation in Palestine. We will be back shortly. Thank you so much.